Hey there, friends. Mia Juliana here, and I'm continuing on our quest to learn about emotional intelligence, or EQ as it is called. And we are continuing on talking about social awareness. We've already tapped into self awareness and self management, and now we're going to talk about social awareness and bringing other people into that bubble of learning about dealing with emotional intelligence as it pertains to other people. So I just set a timer here on my watch so I don't go too far over today. But a little bit about me before we get started. I am Mia Juliana, a health coach, and I specifically work in emotional wellness, helping career professionals relieve stress and overcome anxiety as they find work life balance. That work life balance can be with tasks, finding the balance between work tasks and home tasks, and relationships, which is the biggest one. Relationship, work-life balance for those colleagues at work and your family at home. Being able to turn off what goes on at one place and be able to be socially clear on how to deal with all of the different happenstances that happen at work versus home. So, with that being said, because other people are involved in the situation when you go to work, typically it's not just you. I know a lot of people are working from home these days, but you still have Zoom meetings to go to, emails to write, to interact with other people. And if you don't live alone, or if you have a mom or a dad that is living, or brothers or sisters or family that is around that you interact with, then being socially aware is a practice that you need to have. And maybe you prefer not to have a lot of people around, but in case you ever do, if you go to the grocery store and shop, or somebody delivers your groceries and you want to say thank you, give a tip, or anything like that, learning these skills is going to be critical. So, social awareness really deals with being empathetic and understanding where others are coming from. I tend to be an empath naturally, so I really hone in on how people are feeling, try to understand where they're coming from, um, and I do tend to feel more. I feel um, more sensitivity. I can feel more anger, or I can feel more of whatever I'm dealing with plus what the other person is dealing with, and that kind of what makes it a little bit more intense. Um, but also being socially aware means having the ability to listen and observe. So not just focusing on what it is that you're going to contribute to the conversation, but also taking time to be completely, totally focused on that person and observing what it is that they need, and observing what their body language is saying, observing what emotions they are showing you that they are expressing in that moment. So, the big portion that is critical in listening is to stop talking and to stop thinking of what you're going to say next. Instead, just focus on that other person. Again, what I said about being like that tunnel vision focus, other people that are around are not as important. Other noises or sounds or anything else that's going on are not as important as that person that you are interacting with and engaging with in that moment. So, taking that time to have eye contact, even on a Zoom, versus looking at your device or looking down at other things, letting that person know that they are important enough for you to focus in on them, and anything that you may be processing about you or family or whatnot in that moment, stop and focus on that one person and process what they are saying to you, and really hear what they're saying. So it takes a lot of practice, but it's definitely well worth it. So you really want to get great at listening to listen better. Listening to listen better. And what that means is active listening. So, active listening means that you don't have an agenda, you are simply letting yourself be focused and not distracted. But I like the phrase listening to listen better, um, because the more you do it, the more consistent you are, the more second nature it becomes. Practice identifying other people's emotional states, their body language, their tone of voice, their facial expressions. Get really, really good at knowing where they are emotionally. Okay, looking at their body language, if they are humped over, slumped down, and their eyes are closed and their chin is down, they're probably hurt or burdened or um, being sorrowful about something. If they come to you with a bright face and they're smiling and their shoulders are down, their arms are open, they're welcoming your energy and they are emoting great, positive, joyful energy, right? So take note of those things as you're speaking to people, and that will help you know how to be socially aware and how you approach them. So when you're greeting others, a huge perk is to say their name. Why? Because people love to hear their name, period. But it also shows that you value them because you took time to know their name. You took time to say their name. Okay. And that really that takes the edge off of meeting someone or seeing someone again another time. Like, it takes the edge off because you remember them. So recognizing the commonalities between you and other people is a big one, because one of my recent clients talked mostly about how they were so different from someone else, or how this other person was so different from them. And oh my goodness, I just can't understand it. Like, why do they do this? And why do they do that? And it's, negative, 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 negative. Well, newsflash, we're not all cut from the same cloth, right? We all come from different circumstances, different backgrounds, different parents. We are all different, right? But finding something that you have common ground on, and some people you may have to dig deep. Some people may be easily relatable from the jump. But if so and so likes to snowboard and so do you, bing, there you go. Somebody else likes pepperoni pizza and that's all they ever eat, bing, there you go. Like, just whatever those commonalities are. You grew up in Arizona, their mom and dad grew up in Arizona. Bing, you got something that's common. Whatever the case is, find a commonality, because again, that'll take that edge off. And I just don't understand. I'm just blocked off and I don't get that person. I don't understand them. Then you're telling yourself, you're speaking to yourself in that matter of, I don't care to know them. They're different. I don't care to know anything about them. Rather than finding a commonality and finding somewhere that you all can link up and be similar and actually have a decent conversation or a decent experience at work, outside of work, whatever the case may be. So, focusing on others and taking your ego out of the equation really ties into the last point, number 4, and the point about listening and active listening. So, when you take you and put that on the shelf, and you say, I am again tunnel vision, focused on this person and what it is they need in this moment, you are emotionally intelligent. You have increased your EQ score. You are showing that you are socially aware when you can do that. Those are great skills to have. Acknowledging what you hear. Occasionally, if you repeat back to someone what they're saying, this reaffirms that you're actually listening. And it's processing, and that you're processing what they're saying. So when someone is listening to you, yes, active listening is going to be giving them your all attention and not worrying about what you're going to say next. But when you're actively listening even further and deeper, and you're empathizing even further and deeper, you are able to repeat back what they're saying. So just like saying their name, that's going to let them know that you value them and you value what they're saying. Living in the moment. We talked about this on the video about being self-aware. Living in the moment and focusing on what's happening right now at this moment is huge, because when we focus on what's happening right now, we cannot rely on the past and bring the past to the present. And we can't sit and think in fear or overthinking or doubt about what's going to happen in the future. We're focusing on the now. We're here and we're present and we're actively listening. And that's all that we need to do in that moment. Lastly, for the social awareness tactic of emotional intelligence is not to judge. So avoid criticizing and avoid dismissing. Dismissing is a form of gaslighting. If you're not sure what gaslighting is, that's something that you can look up on Google. But gaslighting and dismissing kind of do go hand in hand. you never want to be dismissive of someone and their feelings or their emotions or whatever they're talking about. If they're talking about their dog and their dog had a great time at the dog park or whatnot, like dismissing that is rude. Um, that's 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 called for a low EQ score. Showing some type of relatability, like, oh yeah, that's cool. My brother has a dog. It may not be you that has a dog, or oh my gosh, I love dogs. I have five. Whatever the case may be, then you find a way to relate rather than dismiss. Judging and criticizing, there are times when people are going to come to you and they want that criticism, they want that advice, they will seek that out. But stepping into a situation and that's the mindset that you have is not emotionally intelligent, and it definitely lacks a high EQ score, high EQ level. So those are some tactics for you to put into play in your social life for you to become more socially aware. And if you'd like to learn more and go into a deeper dive, I'll put the links down below where you all can reach me, and we can talk further about emotional intelligence in a masterclass. And I also do group coaching as well to help those of you that are looking for more poignant, unique strategies for what you're going through in your work life and your home life to really help you overcome anxiety and relieve that stress. So click the like button, click subscribe, and I will hit you all up in the next video. Bye for now.